This is one of those invasions I didn't have any right to win. But I did anyway. I guess I had the right to win. I just didn't have any business winning it. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference there, I think. So, these gankers, they've done something interesting. I'm going to call them gankers. I'm going to assume they've done it on purpose. They have pulled the lever up top in the Black Keep. They've pulled the lever up there and thus moved all of the little statues around, and then spawned down here at the bottom and summoned their buddy and put on the blue ring, and there's nowhere to go, right? So if you're an invader, obviously, like, the first thing you're looking for is like a weak spot to attack in your opponents. And if you're not looking for that, then you're looking for a way out, an escape plan. And this is one of those invasions where there just wasn't one. Now, I didn't know that yet. There's no way for me to have known that. I thought this was just a regular invasion. Actually, I take that back. I could have known that if I had paid attention to the statues, which, now that I've said that, maybe that will help you, fellow invaders. Maybe that's something to make sure you're taking a peek at when you invade down here. Look at those statues and make sure that they're where they need to be in order for progress to happen. Because if they aren't where they need to be in order for progress to happen, there will be no progress made. There will be no attempt at progress made. And instead, you're just going to be stuck down here. Fortunately for me, the enemies were still alive. I don't know if that's... It's entirely possible that they just did this through some weird random chance. I don't know, right? It's possible. And maybe that's why the enemies are still alive. Alternatively, maybe the enemies are still alive because, like, they had just got this set up and they hadn't ran through and killed all the enemies yet. I don't know, and there's no way for me to know, right? But these enemies, thank God, are actually pretty cool. The little shadow guys, some of them cast offensive fireball spells, and some of them cast heals, and they will heal invaders, which makes them fantastic to have around. It is, like, it's great heal or something, I don't know. But if you can keep those guys active and engaged, they are surprisingly effective with an invader. Which is an interesting thing that I had not considered in terms of, like, the base game Elden Ring. So much of it, when it's when you're in new game, right? Not new game plus or anything like that. So many enemies are just absolute pushovers. And it's so easy to leave certain dungeons and areas and locations open for, like, co-opers to gank in. And they can basically just call in invaders, like Patch's Cave and things like that. You know what I'm talking about. You've experienced it. I don't know if if I'm saying it as clearly as I need to, but, Patch's Cave, or the cave at the very beginning of the game where you fight the demi-humans. There's nothing there. There's nothing to help an invader out. It's just, it allows them to focus entirely on an invader and just be done with the invader and win and go to the, wait for the next invader to show up. These enemies in the DLC, regardless of what new game cycle you're in, they're going to cast heal on invaders. And that's pretty good, regardless, because they'll probably heal you to full. I used the finger here to teleport because I'm at a dead end. And I typically remove those loading screens so that you guys don't have to watch the loading screens. I left that one in because it's hilarious. I use the Phantom Finger to like, okay, get me out of this situation, get me out of this dead end. And it just spawns me right back into the very same dead end that I was already in, which is funny. But yeah, these little shadow guys, they're actually pretty useful, and that was something that I had not considered or thought about. This is the point where I realized, like, there is nowhere for me to go. This is the end of the line. So from here, it's just me taking stock of what I have available to help me out, and then, you know, getting ready to put on my bravest face and just deal with these three, and you know, hope for the best. The least I can do is get the Fire Knight here involved, try and put some damage on this blue, and then you know, relocate and allow them to wonder where I've gone. Right? That's basically my plan. It's not a great plan, but it's the one that I have. And so we're sticking with it. If I get lucky, maybe the Fire Knight kills one of those guys. And, you know, if they are ganking, maybe it opens up a spot for another Invader to show up. And then, like, worst case scenario is I just wasted some of their time and hopefully some of their flasks. At this point, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Also, let me say this. I might be wrong. There might be a way to, like, finagle a jump to get somewhere, but I don't know how to do it. So for all intents and purposes, I'm stuck. But I figure I know the level well enough that I might know something they don't. I know that there should be another Fire Knight over here. You just saw him on the screen. So, like, that's something, at least. He's more, you know, dangerous than, like, a shadow guy or a little munchkin man, right? He's not, like, a world beater, but he's something. That's a terrible trade that I do not need to be making. This is... I remember this. This is so sad. I missed the jump down, and then they're on me before I can, like if I could have done that 3 seconds faster, I could have maybe had a Fire Knight on my team against those two, and that would have been nice. But I was like 2 seconds too slow because everything I did didn't work right. But we did finally get rid of the blue, so that's nice. It's not like they're free and they just spawn in constantly, you know, all the time. It's not like that ever happens, right? I do know about this jump. This is a jump that I know how to do. I'm not sure that it's gonna do anything for me in terms of, like, that's not... It's surprising, I guess, a little bit. Like, catch them off guard, maybe. The fact that they're both using frostbite stuff also, you know, a lot of the times I'll give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, they're probably not gankers. They're probably just regular co-opers. But when you see dudes, like, both using frostbite stuff, you know, anytime there's, like, cohesive teamwork between co-opers, it's pretty... That's ganky behavior, I'll say. I've got one Phantom Bloody Finger left, so we have to, like, make the most out of this thing, right? I cannot, for the life of me, get this host alone for even a second, which is a real shame. As soon as... And I'm trying to be more realistic with my expectations when I invade. A lot of times I'll see somebody by themselves and I think to myself, I can probably get to them and finish them off before their friend gets there. And it just seems like most of the time I'm wrong. If I was running like a meaner build, you know, maybe I could do it. But I just can't do it with what I currently have equipped here, right? See, like right now I'm like, okay, I've got some time. I can try and put some damage on this dude. Now I need to be worried about the guy showing up behind me, and then there he does. He shows up behind me. So that's great. Oh, another thing I should point out about that terrible Phantom Bloody Finger that we used at the very beginning of the invasion. Another thing that made that hurt so bad was the fact that using that Phantom Bloody Finger gets rid of your Wondrous Physic. So my Wondrous Physic buff is gone. And I'm just like, you know, raw dogging it now. And I gave it up for nothing. It's like if I had gave it up and I had gotten a better spawn point, that'd be one thing. But to give it up for like literally nothing for that terrible spawn, man, that sucks. The damage on that Colossal Sword is absurd. And this is meta level, by the way. I'm sure that dude is... I would guess, I don't remember. I would guess he's probably password summoned. Because like the amount of damage he can get out of like one swing with that Colossal Sword. I guess I should point out, I'm taking more damage because of the backstep Crucible Talisman. So maybe that's playing a more pivotal role than I thought it was. God, I hate that it makes me take more damage, but I love it. The Fine Crucible Feather. I love it so much. I wish it was just 2 talisman slots. I would wear that, you know? I would totally, but the fact that it's more damage, that hurts so bad. Thankfully, before the Phantom died of poison, he left a Warming Stone there that I could kind of hang out in a little bit. No idea. No idea how... I mean, I know how I pulled that one off. Just absolute cunning, right? Just sheer smarts. Wily as a fox, as they say. Fun invasion. I'll see you next time. Later, y'all.